And welcome back to Atlanta, where the Democratic National Committee is picking their new chairman in the convention hall behind us. Voting underway right now as they have just started to collect and count the ballots. Could be a while till we have an answer. Little insight, we're going to bring in CBS Atlanta radio talk show host, civil rights activist Robert Patillo. Robert, great to have you. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me, Leland.
Pretty interesting as you see this. This is way more than a fight simply for who is the chairperson of the Democratic Party. It seems it's a fight for who's the future of the Democratic Party.
It's a fight for the direction of the party. You have to realize in the last decade, the party has been decimated on the state and local level. The appeal of President Obama covered up some of the deficiencies in the party. We've lost nearly 1,000 legislative seats over the last decade. 35% of governorships have gone to the GOP, 20% of House seats, 20% of state legislators. So we have to change the direction of the party.
Changing the direction of the party, there's two parts of a party, right? There you got the money folks and the fundraisers for the Democrats. Those folks are in California and New York. And then you got the activists and the people who really care, who are going to work in all the states and perhaps needed to work in the states that Hillary Clinton lost. If you guys are going to take back the White House or take back some of the other seats you talk about, President Obama has really thrown his weight behind Tom Perez, the former labor secretary, his labor secretary, although there's folks like you who say that's the wrong direction.
Well, I think we're seeing a rerun of the Democratic primary where you saw the heat and the enthusiasm in the streets were for Bernie Sanders. You had a progressive wing of the party, a progressive part of the party that stood up for working families, that stood up for the elderly, stood up for African Americans, stood up for civil rights issues. And then you have the moneyed elites who stood on the other side.
So you're an Ellison man.
I'm definitely an Ellison man because I think Ellison represents what the base of the party actually supports. And then in opposition to that, you have the people who control the fundraising of the party, and they generally, their voice usually wins.
Well, we'll see if they win. Balloting underway right now. Quickly, you're in radio, so you know how to do this in about 15 seconds. Alan Dershowitz, famed civil rights leader, famed Democrat, says if Ellison wins, he's leaving the Democratic Party because he thinks he's an anti-Semite. Are you worried about that? Are you worried about the backlash of Keith Ellison, who's so controversial?
I don't think Keith Ellison is controversial at all. I think this is exactly what you saw the Tea Party do to President Obama in 2008. And to see Democrat do that on Democrat, I think is saddening. This is exactly the type of difference between the moneyed elites and the actual rank and file of the party we see.
Well, as you know, Ronald Reagan said, thou shalt not speak ill of other Republicans. We'll see if the Democrats speak ill of each other. Stick around. If we get a verdict here or a result in this election, we'll have you back in the next hour.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Robert.